welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by today because today I'm going to show you guys how to make another really cute creature. Today we're going to make a baby otter. Anyways, let's get started. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to work on is going to be the clay face for the otter. Now this piece is kind of small, so I'm mainly just trying to get a basic shape for the head, so I'm going to take a lump of clay and we're going to just kind of shape that around until we're happy with it. You're mainly just trying to figure out where the snout's going to go and where the eyes are going to go. After that, we need to place the bottom jaw onto the muzzle. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to press that into the bottom of the muzzle and I'm going to pull down, creating a nice spot for us to put that bottom jaw. And then I'm just going to take a lump of clay and we're going to push that in and start blending it together. For the clay eyes, you're just going to take 2 balls of clay and you're going to figure out exactly where you want the eyes to go and you're going to press them in, and then you're going to put some strips of clay around that to create an eyelid. Lastly, we need to make the nose, so I'm going to take another lump of clay and we're going to put that at the end of the snout and we're going to start shaping it, creating the nostrils and just blending it in. Now the rest of this face is not going to have any other details because I'm going to actually have fur over it, so the main things we're sculpting are going to be the eyes and the nose. And of course, where the mouth is going to be, you need to create a nice dip, that way you can create kind of a tuck spot for where you're going to put the lips. So we're going to put this in the oven for about probably 35 minutes at 275 Fahrenheit. After it's cooled down, we can start working on painting. Now with the painting, again, we're mainly working with the eyes and the nose, so I'm going to primer both of those with a nice black paint. After the black paint is dried, we can move on to adding the other details to the eyes and the nose. I'm going to start with the nose and we're going to start adding some light browns to it. And then for the eyes, they're super simple. You're mainly just going to be painting the eyelids a different color so they kind of stand out a bit more. And then we're going to add some white highlights to the eyes themselves. After this all dries, I'm going to resin over everything to help protect it. If you don't want to use resin, just use a spray-on varnish or a sealant. After the clay face is all finished, we can now move on to sewing the body for the otter. So this is the pattern that I drew out for our otter. It's very simple. It's just a basic little shape with the legs, and then the belly is just a basic strip of fabric that kind of tapers at the end. So I'm going to cut my pattern out and then we're going to cut out all the fabric pieces for it and we're going to start putting them together. Okay, so we have a left and a right piece for the body, we have our belly, and then the inner parts of the legs. So the first sewing we're going to do is we're going to work on the legs. So I'm going to take the inner legs that we have and we're going to connect them to the legs that are on the main body. So we're going to take the 2 pieces, sandwich them together, and we're going to sew all the way around. Now we just need to take the belly piece and we're going to sew it all the way down the side of the body, and then we're going to connect the other half of the body to it as well. So after doing all of that, this is roughly what you're going to end up having. Now our otter is kind of small, but I'm still going to give it a wire frame, so I'm going to take that pattern that we drew out for the fabric and I'm going to use that as a guide to make the wire frame. So we mainly just need a spine that will go from the head down to the tip of the tail, and then we need the legs. So those are going to go from one tip of the leg up the body and down to the other tip of the leg. And then we're going to use a thinner wire to wrap all 3 of the wires together. Okay, so we have all the pieces for our little otter pup, and we're going to start putting it together. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the clay head and we're going to put some hot glue on the back of it, and then we're going to connect it to the wire frame. Next, we're going to take our fabric body and we're going to turn all those legs right side out. That way we can stuff them and we can connect the wireframe to the body. After you have all the legs stuffed, we're going to take that wire frame we have and we're going to push all the wires for the legs into the legs. Then we're going to take our hot glue gun and start gluing the fabric for the neck all the way around the head. After you have the fabric glued around the head, you're just going to stuff the rest of the body and then sew it closed. Now that the body of the otter is all finished, we're going to move on to finishing the face. So we need to cover it all in fur. So I'm going to take some white fur and we're going to start covering the chin and the neck of the otter along with its little cheeks. After you have the white fur placed, we're going to start using the brown fur that matches the body and start covering the rest of the face. After it's all covered, I'm going to use my scissors and start trimming and shaping the fur around the face. I recommend having some really sharp scissors for this, otherwise you might end up getting kind of a choppy effect. Now for the ears of the otter, I'm going to use some felt for it. So I have a kind of off pink color that's going to be for the inside of the ears. I have these already cut out, and I'm going to glue these onto some brown felt. Then I'm going to cut these out and then we're going to glue them onto the face. Best way to glue on the ears is to just brush the fur out of the way where you want the ears, and then you're going to put some glue down and then you're going to push the ears in place and brush the fur back over it. That way you don't end up seeing all the glue. Lastly, I'm going to use some paint and we're going to start adding a little bit more detail to the fur on the face. So I'm going to use this to add the shadowing for the mouth and then some highlights for the rest of the fur. Okay guys, and that's how I made a baby otter. I don't have him with me right now because I actually was commissioned to make this piece, so I already mailed him off to his new owner. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project. If so, leave me a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you really enjoyed the otter, I might make more for my shop. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!